morning and happy Tuesday, 10 at 10 to all of you, my friends, the bakers. My name is Richard Charpentier. I am your host and also the owner and founder of Baking Innovation, a product development resource group where we help bakers and bakeries similar to here, but here we answer your questions. So thank you very much, the viewers, for sending great questions. And again, I'm glad to be here and with you, and hope you all had a fantastic Thanksgiving time and lots of great baking in turkey, and now all rested and ready to start again. So without further ado, let's get started with our questions today. First question. A viewer asked about what are the recommended preservative agent for bread and bun dough. So the way I look at it is you have for mold preservation, what kind of preservation system can you use for your bread and bun dough? So usually it's in the same category. So we'll break it down into two. You'll have the more of the artificial preservation system, and then you'll have your natural. And the artificial one will get your calcium propionate and your sodium propionate, which usually vary between 0.1 to 0.3% based on baker's percent on the flour, and those will help control mold growth. And if not, if you want more of a clean label, you would go with the natural, which are the fermented corn and the fermented wheat products, acting similarly, but it depends on the usage level done by the vendors. So that's the question, but it always starts with a good clean plant. So before adding anything, it's great to add, no doubt. I would recommend adding a product like that, but always make sure that the bakery is a good sanitation program along with the preservation system. That's my recommendation, and I hope it helped. We're going to move to the next question. Somebody wants to know what are the best mixing method for RTB frozen dough. And RTB stands for ready to bake dough. And in the category, you'll see a ready to bake and you'll see a ready to proof, an RTP. And they're different. The RTP is basically a frozen dough that you will take and put it in your proof box or thaw a little bit and proof it and bake it. So it requires a little more engineering because you do have yeast and everything. But in the case of this question, the mixing method for RTB, ready to bake, it falls into the category of laminated doughs. Puff pastry, for example, is a ready to bake dough, meaning you take it from frozen and you stick it in the oven right away and boom, voila, you're going to get your product. So what do you need to follow when you do that? Not knowing your process, not knowing your equipment or the flour you're using, I would say your mixing should not really change very much, because once you do a laminated dough, you do not want to overmix, but it has to also be with the type of flour you're using. Not knowing that, I can't just say, mix X minutes. One principle that is important to follow is going to be a consistent temperature, and it's going to be going in the freezer. So especially with puff pastry, maintain a colder temperature, usually 55, 60 degrees, because you want to freeze quickly. And you're freezing, the way you're freezing your puff pastry is going to be very important, because you do not want to form any, water crystal and how long you keep them in the freezer. But that's my recommendation for your question about how to, the mixing process for ready to bake dough. Thank you. So we have one more question. A somebody asking us the usage rate for the following ingredients, and the following ingredients are mono and di, polyglycerol esters, lecithin, and xanthan gum. So all of those are emulsifiers, which on BAKERpedia page, there's great at length page talking about emulsifiers. So I would highly recommend you checking it out because that's useful information. But to answer your question, I would say the recommended usage varies. It varies. Why? Because each cake is not formulated the same, and each bakery does not use the same process. Are you because mixers vary, the people, commercial bakeries will use oaks mixers, which is continuous system, and so it would vary. And if you look at articles, it would say, from 0.5 to 2%. Some I've seen on mono say people say up to 6%. It's going to be up to you. And remember, those ingredients are considered GRAS, generally recognized as safe. So it's not telling you, it's not regulated to say, okay, you can't exceed X amount. It's going to be for you to decide, what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to get more volume? Are you trying to soften the crumb? Are you trying to change your texture? Are you trying to, tighten up the grain of your cakes, and or create resiliency? And if you do, it's about understanding how to pick the right emulsifier. And for your case, I would say look at, what are you trying to achieve. And I would love to, again, I always offer on all the Tuesday 10 out of 10, if you have questions, a follow-up question, come back to me, uh, uh, let me know what your type of cake, and then it'll be easier for me to put a better recommendation for you. So one last point, this is the end of the question. So if you have not yet joined BAKERpedia and the great bakery community, please do. It's free to join. All you have to do is log in, put your name in, and you can ask questions. And I think it's a fantastic tool for all the bakers around. Like myself, 34 years in the industry, and we give you our basically experience and years of expertise here for free, where you can ask questions to us and grow your knowledge, and hopefully we help you grow as well. So on that note, so it was a short day, so thank you very much for you, the viewers, and thank you for following Tuesday 10 at 10. I'm grateful to have you guys, and you have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.